Robert Greene once wrote, "When you show yourself to the world and display your talents, you naturally stir all kinds of resentment, envy, and other manifestations of insecurity. You cannot spend your life worrying about the petty feelings of others." Welcome to the intriguing world of power dynamics, as explored in Greene's remarkable work, The 48 Laws of Power. A compelling read, it uncovers the subtle game of power played in our everyday lives. This book serves as a guide, helping us understand the complex mechanics of power that govern human interactions. It's not just a book, but a toolbox for self-improvement enthusiasts. Today we're diving deep into the heart of this masterpiece, focusing on 3 of the most impactful laws. These selected laws, when understood and applied correctly, can drastically transform the way you interact with the world and how the world interacts with you. With these laws, you'll be equipped to navigate the power dynamics in your life with wisdom and finesse. The first law of power is never outshine the master. This law might sound counterintuitive at first, but let's delve deeper to appreciate its wisdom. You see, in all social and professional settings, there exists a hierarchy. This hierarchy is often invisible, but it's always there, and those at the top have the power to make or break your ascent. Let's take an example. Imagine you're a highly talented employee in a company. Your skills far exceed those of your boss, but rather than being appreciated for your talent, you find yourself being sidelined, overlooked for promotions, or even pushed out of the team. You might wonder, why is this happening? I'm clearly more competent. The answer lies in this first law. You've outshone your master, and in doing so, you've made them feel threatened. The wisdom behind this law is simple. Power is not just about competence, it's about perception. When you outshine your master, you're not just displaying your skills, you're inadvertently challenging their authority and making them feel insecure. This insecurity often leads to backlash, and that's what you're experiencing when you're sidelined or overlooked. But how do you apply this law in your life? It's all about balance. It doesn't mean you should hide your talents or underperform. It means you should be aware of the dynamics around you. Know when to step forward and when to step back. Recognize when it's your time to shine and when it's better to let others take the spotlight. In professional life, this could mean allowing your boss to take credit for a successful project, even if you did most of the work. In personal life, it might mean letting your friend be the center of attention at their party, even if you're the life of the party. Remember, it's not about dimming your light, but about knowing when to let others shine. This is the essence of the first law of power: never outshine the master. The second law of power is learn to keep people dependent on you. This law might sound a tad manipulative, yet in the grand scheme of power dynamics, it's a fundamental principle. It's not about exploiting others, but about making yourself so valuable that people naturally rely on you. Imagine a leader, a maestro, who orchestrates a symphony of skills and talents within their team. This maestro doesn't just assign tasks. They impart wisdom, they guide, they inspire. Their team relies on them not because they're forced to, but because the leader's expertise and guidance help them perform at their best. But how does this translate to power? Well, in the world of influence, being indispensable is akin to being untouchable. If you're the linchpin that holds everything together, people will think twice before crossing you. They'll value your presence, your input, and your leadership. Now let's explore the flip side of this coin. What happens when people don't depend on you? You become replaceable. And in the ruthless world of power games, being replaceable is the last thing you want. It makes you vulnerable, it weakens your position, and it diminishes your influence. So how can you make people depend on you? The answer lies in 2 words: value and scarcity. First, provide value. Be it knowledge, skills, connections, or resources, make sure you offer something that others find beneficial. Then create scarcity. Don't give away everything at once. Dole out your value in such a way that people always need more. Remember, this isn't about playing people or being selfish. It's about understanding the dynamics of power and using them to your advantage. It's about creating a situation where people look up to you, respect you, and most importantly, need you. To wrap it up, the second law of power is all about making others reliant on the unique value that only you can provide. It's about being the maestro whose symphony would fall apart without their guidance. In the end, to be indispensable is to be powerful. The third law of power is conceal your intentions. Now imagine a poker player. He keeps his cards close to his chest, never revealing his hand until the last moment. This is a perfect illustration of this law. By concealing your intentions, you maintain an element of surprise, keeping others off balance and unable to counteract your moves effectively. This is not about dishonesty or manipulation. It's about strategic planning. In a negotiation, for instance, revealing your bottom line too early gives the other party an advantage. They now know exactly how far they can push you. But if you keep your intentions concealed, you retain the upper hand. Concealing your intentions can also protect you from premature judgment or criticism, allowing you to perfect your plans before they are exposed to scrutiny. Remember, in the game of power, a well-kept secret is a powerful tool. Now that you're familiar with these laws, you might be wondering how to implement them in your life. The first step is to become aware. Awareness of these laws is half the battle won. Keep them in mind as you navigate your daily interactions. Recognize when these laws may be applicable and use discretion when applying them. For instance, if you're in a position where you could potentially outshine someone in power, you might choose to hold back, demonstrating your understanding and respect of Law 1. Similarly, if you find yourself in a situation where you can provide something that someone else needs, remember Law 2 and use it to your advantage. In terms of concealing your intentions, it's not about being deceitful, but rather about being strategic. Revealing too much, too soon can leave you vulnerable. So be wise with your words and actions. Remember, power is not about manipulation, but about understanding the dynamics at play and acting with wisdom and tact.